call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock straight up. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Dan Gaffney.
Here.
Michelle Van Adston. Dan Green.
Here.
Mary Himberg.
Here.
Allison McFadden-Hazeley.
Here.
Marilyn Pomeroy absent. And absent Julie Meredith here.
Okay. And we have a move to approve the agenda as written.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. How am I doing so far? This is my first time doing it.
You're doing just great.
Thank you. Consent agenda.
Oh, no, call the public.
Call the public, pardon me, see?
Have it for confidence.
Yeah.
You're like a room full of public here.
Right, do.
Don't usually have this much public.
Call the public.
So just a few quick things. The quilt planning committee has met, and the gala to unveil our Michigan Writers and Illustrator quilt is tentatively set for Saturday, September 9th from 2 to 5. We'll be here at the library. So Beth Gry is chairing that group. They'll continue to meet. We'll update you as things move on, but we're looking forward to that. Friends are working on the spring newsletter, and I also want to remind the community that the spring book sale will be coming up last weekend of April. And you'll see information coming out about that. I will not be here next month, but Janet will be. Again. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Sure. Okay. Consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Library statistics.
Okay. You have your statistics in front of you. Just a couple of notes from the staff. From Brad Reuter, our head of technical services. We had 507 unique Overdrive users in January. This is the first time that we've broken that statistic, and we anticipate it will continue to grow. From Bill Bowman, our head of circulation IT manager. In 2016, our computer users were down 68%, but wireless users were up 227%.
Wow.
In response to this change in technology usage in the library, we're looking at transitioning the adult computer lab into a flexible space that can be used for computers as a training room, a small meeting room, or even a maker space. Since our library was built in 1992, we often struggle to help people using mobile devices find a place to sit near a power source. So in addition, we are investigating ways to run electricity to the seating area in the adult section to allow people using wireless on their own devices to charge their technology. When we approach the board with a proposal to transition the adult computer lab, it will include powering those tables in the adult area as part of the project. And that's all the observation I have for statistics.
Okay. And library director's report?
And the director's report. I have a lot of updates tonight. In terms of building and grounds, the RFP for phase 3 of the library's parking lot reconstruction project has been posted. The pre-bid meeting will take place on Tuesday, February 14th. The bids are due on Tuesday, February 28th. HRC will prepare a review of the bids and have a recommendation for the library board at the meeting on March 13th. We have requested that this work take place in May of 2017 with a completion date no later than June 9th. In other projects, our project to update the library safety procedures continues to move forward. We've been working with Bob Cesario, a retired trainer from Independence Township Fire Department, who is now using his skills to consult and train organizations regarding safety and emergency procedures. After a few initial meetings, he has developed a rough draft that merges the procedures we had in place with important needed updates. The Library Safety Committee is currently scheduling a meeting to work with Bob to fine-tune this document, then develop a plan to train the rest of the staff. We hope to include a training tied to this procedure manual at our annual all-staff training day on Friday, April 7th. Next item, the library board approved a vendor financial plan and budget for phase 1 of the point of sale project at the January 9th meeting. The vendor contract has been initiated and equipment was ordered. Some of the equipment has arrived. The credit card terminals are the component that has the longest fulfillment time, but we anticipate their arrival by March 13th. Installation and implementation should occur shortly thereafter. The point of sale committee should return to the board to discuss phase 2, which is online payment, when phase 1 implementation is underway. So we're anticipating you'll probably see that in April. Next item, we are currently working with Library Design Associates, the company that handled the library's 2008 space planning project, to address our current space planning needs for the adult computer lab and various storage concerns. As I just indicated in statistics, data is indicating that the use of the library's computers is falling, but use of the library's wireless is skyrocketing, so we are investigating ways to transform the adult computer lab into much needed flexible space for trainings, meetings, etc. In response to growing wireless use, we are looking at options to provide power at those adult tables. And then to address the storage concerns, we are looking at a variety of efficient shelving options for our meeting room and storage room to maximize space. Next item, the library board and library staff have been working the past few years to review and update the library's policies and procedures. One area that we still need to work on is the library's employee policies. When the library separated from the township, we had a combination of policies from the township's union contract and the non-union employee manual. The first step that is needed is to compile these various policies and ensure that they are all in accordance with current laws and regulations. Paychex, the company that handles our payroll, has an HR service designed to assist small employers like the library with the compilation of a cohesive employee manual from a collection of employee policies, ensuring that everything follows state and federal laws. This looks like it will be the more efficient and cost-effective way to pull this manual together than working through the policies one by one with the library's attorney. Once a manual has been developed, Paychex offers the option of purchasing an annual review that updates the legalities of the manual, or at that point, we could choose to use our own attorney for this process. Either way, using Paychex HR service seems to be a good way to begin the review process for these policies. And then a couple of collaborations. At last month's meeting, an update regarding the community information website, which is a robust compilation of local information created by Susan and Bill Basinger, was presented. Last week, the committee that had formed to work on the migration of this website to a modern platform met again. It was a very productive meeting that got this project moving forward again. IGD Solutions, the local company that will be working on the migration, presented mock-ups of a visual design and gathered a great deal of information from the committee about the needed functionality of the site. IGD Solutions will be contacting us shortly to arrange the next steps in this process. So that's moving forward. And last, but certainly not least, the 4th annual Shiver by the River event that took place on Saturday, January 21st in Depot Park. Despite the unseasonably warm weather, turnout to the event was great. Jenny Schultz talked to Oakland County Parks and Rec and had them bring in a variety of relay races and activities instead of our usual snowshoes. Because the ground was so cold, the ice rink in Depot Park was actually solid. While it wasn't smooth enough for ice skates, it was perfectly serviceable for kids to slide around in their boots and play broom ball. The library's children's craft and button machine were hit as usual, and it was another very successful day. So,
Pretty cool.
it went really well. We were a little bit concerned about it being like 50 degrees, but
Yeah.
it all turned out.
We probably had more people because it was so warm.
Everybody thought we would have less, and we really did have a larger turnout because people were dying to take advantage of the nice
Sure.
weather and be outside, and they were looking for something to do. So it was a little bit muddy.
And free chili.
And free chili, everything's free. It's a whole bunch of organizations that come together and everybody pitches in so that it's free. So it was free chili from the Optimists and free cookies from the Garden Club, and the Women's Club did a couple of, they had yard Jenga, and the Historical Society did s'mores and had a bonfire, and
Hot
Union
chocolate.
Joints did hot chocolate, and yeah, it was just a fun day.
Good.
It was a fun day.
Great.
Okay, regular business. Number 1, appointment of a business and marketing librarian.
Well, we are very fortunate to have our recommended candidate here in the audience tonight, so I'm very excited about that. At the meeting, December 12th, the library board approved the posting of the business and marketing librarian position. We posted the job from December 14th, 2016 to January 8th, 2017. Library selection committee consisted of Marilyn Pomeroy, Lawrence Marble, Christina Bowers, and Julie Meredith. We received 8 resumes and conducted 3 initial interviews. The selection committee narrowed the field to the top 2 candidates. These candidates were interviewed by representatives of the Clarkston Area Chamber of Commerce, while representatives of the library selection committee sat in. So that was a 2-part process. After careful consideration and discussion, we recommend Trevor Wynn. Mr. Wynn has been the business librarian at the Genesee District Library for 4 years, where he oversees the Robert T. Bolo Business Center. In both interviews, he was personable, professional, and demonstrated a strong knowledge of business resources. He was able to give many specific examples in which he gathered, interpreted, and extracted relevant data for local business owners in his current role. When asked what attracted him to this position, he spoke enthusiastically about the outreach aspect of our business and marketing librarian position, which is somewhat limited in his current job. As part of the second interview, the Chamber of Commerce provided a scenario in advance for which each candidate needed to prepare a response. The interviewers were most impressed with Mr. Wynn's confident, concise, easy-to-understand presentation of immediately applicable industry data. This should help CIDL and the Parks and Area Chamber of Commerce take our services to the local business community to the next level. Based on the salaries of current staff and the experience in his resume, the committee recommends a salary of $47,500 and the standard full-time employee benefits package. In terms of funding and budget considerations, this is a budgeted position. Since the position has been vacant since mid-December, no budget adjustment should be needed to accommodate the proposed salary. And in your packet, you do have his resume, his references, and the proposal.
Right. Okay, any discussion?
No, I just, looks good on paper. And I'm glad to hear that the Chamber of Commerce and the selection committee were impressed, but definitely very impressive looking through your resume. I just read it a little while ago.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words also, Julie.
Welcome.
Yeah, looks like an outstanding candidate.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, I think that's going to make things even better, and that's been improving all along, so I'm kind of excited to see that moving to that next level. And with that, I would like to make a motion to appoint Trevor Wynn as the business and marketing librarian with a salary of $47,500 and the standard benefits package of a full-time employee. The date of hire will be determined, allowing for an appropriate amount of notice to his current employer.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, you're in, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, and number 2, the circulation policy.
Hang on.
Okay,
Got it.
good.
In 2013, the Friends of the Library sponsored 6 Kindle paperweights for the library to circulate. Being new to the collection, we required a $15 deposit to ensure that they were returned. In the last 3 years, the circulation of these Kindle devices has been fairly low, and there have been no issues with damage or return of these items. We feel that the deposit may be a barrier to usage and would like to remove it from these devices. This should help boost the circulation of these devices and allow even more users for these to use these items. And basically what we need you to do is part of the fines and fees policy. There is a deposit listed on that. And we do have Mr. Bowman here if you would like to speak further on that, or did I just steal all your thunder?
You read what I wrote. That's what I wrote.
Yes, I did.
No, yeah, the Kindles, the initial usage was high, and then it started to dwindle off as people realized that there was a deposit on the items. And we have had people at the desk who could not check it out due to the deposit. And so we felt that since the items they're now 3 years old, there's really no reason to hold a deposit upon the item any longer. Yeah, we haven't had anybody break one or steal one or anything like that, so we felt that the items
How long
are...
do they go out, circulate for?
They currently check out for 2 weeks
2 weeks.
with no renewals, but we also don't send the cords. So the 2 week reason is due to the fact that we need to recharge them again. So, but patrons have been able to bring one back and just check another one out, which worked the same way as they would now. So because we charge them behind the circulation
And that's
desk.
enough to read a book, the charge that obviously.
Should be, yeah, that's, you know. But again, there's been ones that they'll check it out and then they'll get halfway through the book and they'll just remember what page they were on and go to that same page on the next Kindle.
Oh, okay.
So it worked, and it's not that we're trying to make sure the Kindles come back, it's just, we just want to make sure they're charged. And the fewer parts we send out, the fewer parts we have trouble getting back.
Right, and those cords could be so easily lost.
And well, I mean, they're universal cords, so we would probably start getting back all sorts of weird cords if we started shipping the cords with the items. I mean, you know, we send, I think they're a 6-foot micro USB cord we'd probably get. an Apple cord back at one point. I'd have a lightning adapter that I can't use, you know, that sort of thing, so.
Well, we
but-
have them, we want them to be used.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. Might as well encourage it.
All right, is there a move? Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the updated circulation policy as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. What a surprise.
That's all I got for you tonight.
All right, well, this has really been fun, and I think it's a record.
It might be.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So
It's
moved.
your turn.
Okay, and we move to adjourn at 6:15.
Did we have a second?
I
Yes,
didn't
we
hear
did,
second.
Mary.
Mary.
Second. I
Mary,
heard it.
thank you.
Yes, second, sorry.
That's all right.
Too enthusiastic. 6:15. Thank you very much.